He would have been shot. The brothers found on a farm an old wheelbarrow, put him on it, and that's how I met him after the war again in Holland.
A frenzied evacuation was made from the Neuengamme camp. The prisoners were marched to the Baltic Sea, where they were put on ships to be sunk.
And then we were taken to the ship Thielberg, and finally to the luxury liner Capacona. This ship was then bombed by the British. It went up in flames, and I was able to jump into the water, fully clothed, and swim to a small boat and climb into it. Then I and other prisoners paddled this small boat to the shore.
In late April 1945, a handful of Jehovah's Witnesses from the Stutthof camp in the eastern part of Germany, together with other prisoners, were forced onto a small barge to cross the Baltic Sea.
Those 10 days at sea were dreadful, and some, including our Martel Malinke, became deathly ill. She died soon after the liberation. We were more dead than alive. We weren't people and didn't look like her.
May 5th, 300 prisoners, 15 of them witnesses, landed on an island off the coast of Denmark. Danish witnesses heard the news and rushed to meet them.
When we realized that these were our brothers and sisters, and that we knew what they had been through in the concentration camps, the treatment they had been so, we knew all about these things. But this was the first time that we met somebody that had been in a concentration camp. You can imagine the impression.
So after some talking, I was permitted to go on board. Yes, I must say it was a great shock for me to see them. I shall never forget how these walking skeletons embraced me out of sheer joy.
We were suffering from typhoid. We had lice. They put their arms around us. It was an unforgettable experience, even for these sisters.
The operation of Ravensbrück did not leave the old and the sick behind.
In the meantime, I recovered enough to go for walks, and I discovered an old carriage in the woods. So I said, "Look, I found something for our old and sick ones." I was feeling much better. Well, we put the carriage in good running order and put the elderly ones on it. We hung a sign on the front, Jehovah's Witnesses returning home from Ravensbrück, and off we went.
The SS at Wewelsburg planned to kill all 42 witness prisoners before abandoning the camp. Why? The witnesses knew where the SS had hidden stolen art treasures, plundered from across Europe. In the frantic final days, 4 execution attempts failed. At one point, 15 were to be shot. Help came from an unexpected source. Gottlieb Bernhard, the SS official left in charge, had second thoughts.
According to eyewitnesses with whom he discussed his uncertainty as to what to do, he decided not to carry out the order, and is thus one of the persons to whom the remaining group are indebted for their lives. As far as we know, Bernhard became one of Jehovah's Witnesses himself after 1945.
Marx and some other prisoners had another narrow escape.
We were to be taken through the forest, which was close by, on the front, and then we were to run into machine gun fire from the SS to give the impression that we had run into the front lines of the Americans.
Suddenly, the Allied troops bombarded Wewelsburg. The guards scattered. Marx and 10 other prisoners ran for cover in the north tower of the castle. Ironically, it was the very place that Himmler envisioned as the center for SS cult worship.
In this shaft, we hid ourselves, and the wall, 3 meters thick, protected us. We waited until darkness, the SS had disappeared, and we were free.
Adolf Hitler had often stood as a guard before a vast sea of troops in Nuremberg at the Zeppelin Meadow. But now it was the witnesses who assembled on these same grounds, and Adolf Hitler was gone.
I can only say one. We Jehovah's Witnesses were not heroes. We could not say, I can take anything that comes. Whenever I prayed to Jehovah, I didn't pray, I want to go home right away. The gates ought to open up. Instead of that, my prayer was always that Jehovah should give me the strength so that I would be able to endure in every situation that might arise.
The unity among the sisters and the brothers, that gave us so much strength. It was our aim to endure under all circumstances. We never prayed to be set free. We prayed for strength to endure. Everything else was unimportant. What mattered was standing up for Jehovah's name.
Franz Wolfhard expected to be executed like his father and brother before him. Thinking of his mother, his bride-to-be, and his fellow witnesses, he wrote his farewell poem in 1944 while captive in a Nazi camp.
In faith, I will always stand firm, though this world may taunt and cry. In my hope, I will always stand firm for a beautiful, better time. In my love, I will always stand firm, though this world repays with hate. Devoted, I will always stand firm, though this world disloyal stays. From God's word flows the might of the strong, and the weak ones it powerful makes. In God's grace I will always stand firm. On my own I could never remain. With my life I will even stand firm, and as I my last breath confer, you should with that dying gasp hear, I stand firm, I stand firm, I stand firm.
These words echo the determination of the thousands of witnesses, living and dead, who stood firm against Nazi assault.